The Osmo Pocket range is one of my favorite camera ranges of all time, and we've got a brand new entry in the form of the Osmo Pocket 4. But how much of an upgrade is this camera system? You're probably noticing straight away that I have a huge fill light attached to the camera. So that's one of the latest features here that I was really impressed with. It magnetically connects on to the back and powers on immediately. You've got a lot of control over that fill light, including extending it out and angling it up or down. It works really well. And I hope that they utilize this magnetic system for more accessories because this is very smart. Some other hardware changes here is the addition of 2 new buttons. So we've got a zooming button that we can just tap on and it will utilize that 2x lossless zoom. Works really well. And now with the new Osmo Pocket, you can zoom while recording. So that's really cool. And there's also a custom button as well. So I can tap on that or double tap to unlock some other features or quick functionality that I might want to access. One of my favorite hardware upgrades is actually the joystick. It protrudes a lot more and it feels more like a joystick. The Osmo Pocket 3 felt more like a knob, like it was like a little nub that kind of comes out. It works fine, but I found myself, I don't know, always a little bit uninterested in using it, but this feels a lot more natural. It feels more like a joystick, it protrudes more, and I'm just a lot more happy to use it now. For full transparency, the Osmo Pocket 4 was provided directly by DJI for this review, and this video has been sponsored by the D1 store, but all of my thoughts expressed throughout this video are my own and no one has influenced what I've said. This is an interesting camera to review. I was expecting something different here. I was expecting a bigger wow, to be honest with you. The camera system hasn't been significantly upgraded here. There are some really nice additions, but I was expecting like a dual camera system, or I was expecting, you know, the sensor to be even better, or even more options for video quality, something like that that would have really wowed me. Now there are some cool things here, but really when we look at it, it's quite similar, even down to the sensor size. Now with that being said, the Osmo Pocket 3 is still one of my favorite camera systems and I use it all the time. I use it for all my unboxing videos, I use it when I'm out and about, I use it just for talking to camera stuff. So it's a very reliable system, and we've got an improvement here with the Osmo Pocket 4. So if you've never owned an Osmo Pocket before, this is going to be an amazing time to get into the market. But in terms of upgrading from the Pocket 3 to the Pocket 4, it's kind of in a little bit of a gray area. It's a hard one to recommend because there's not too much of a wow factor. It is still a 1-inch CMOS sensor, but they're referring to it as a new 1-inch CMOS sensor. So that gives us 14 stops of dynamic range, and it also supports 10-bit D-Log now. So we've got a lot of different options when it comes to D-Log and the dynamic range here. And there's some really cool settings as well through the software that's just slightly tweaked and improved over the Pocket 3. Now, if you are interested in the Osmo Pocket 4 or any other drone, camera, or accessory, I will have some links down below, so make sure to check them out. I've actually helped Australians save over $110,000 on their drone, camera, and accessory purchases. So you can reach directly out to the D1 store and just mention DansTube, and they'll help you out with the best deal possible. You can reach out via email, that's sales@d1store.com.au. You can also go into one of the many DJI stores around Australia, and again, just mention DansTube in store and they'll be able to help you out. The other option is just use the code DansTube on their website to save on most drones, cameras, and accessories. And for my international viewers, don't you worry, I will have some affiliate links down below as well. They help out the channel, so thank you so much. There is no additional cost to you, but they are affiliate links, so they do help me out, just so you're aware of how everything's working. The Pocket 4 does have significantly better dynamic range here, and it performs really well in low light. So I've actually got a standalone, like low light video that I captured with the Pocket 4 at this really cool ceremony. So you'll be able to see some of that, but it was a great test because it was really dark in that room. There were like blinds down, very limited light leaking through, and in the normal mode I couldn't see much at all, but straight when I went to the low light mode I could see everything. With 4K we do have that 2x lossless zoom, and you can use that now mid-recording, which is really nice. There's also Active Track 7, so a slight improvement here. When I was doing my test, it was doing a great job of keeping up. Again, the Pocket 3 did a great job with all of this, like the photo quality, low light, the Active Track, it performed really well, but there's definitely some improvements here. You're noticing like those little iterations and those improvements that will make a difference, and they do add up over time. One of the biggest upgrades is actually the slow motion capabilities here. So we can go 4K up to 240 frames now. Significant upgrade. and really impressive to see. I love using slow motion, and the fact that this is a gimbal, a 3-axis gimbal, you don't have to worry about stabilization post-production, you don't have to worry about software-based stabilization. It's a gimbal that stabilizes everything. So that means in slow motion, I'm getting crispy slow motion without awkward movements. If we compare the video quality and the photo quality and the slow motion between the Pocket 3 and the Pocket 4, I've actually got a whole standalone video on the channel to showcase all of that. So definitely go and check that out. There's a lot of side-by-sides. In this video as well, we're going to show you some stuff now to show you what it actually looks like, what the comparison is going on here. One of the big upgrades is super photo mode. So we have live photos now with the Pocket 4. So that means that we can edit, just like on an iPhone, you can go back and it's going to capture lots of different frames, so you can then move it to the live photo that you want. So that's a feature that's really unique and brand new here. You've also got super photo mode, so that's 33 megapixel still photos. Now, if we have a look at some of the photos here and zoom in, you won't notice a huge difference. Now, yes, the Pocket 4 is better. Like you do notice the details are a little bit more there with the Pocket 4, but again, not significantly different because they're both 1-inch camera systems. The big difference will be the slow motion, and you'll see very clearly that the Pocket 4 just smashes it out of the park here. And then when it comes to the standard video quality, 4K 25 frames per second is what we did for the comparison with the Pocket 3 and Pocket 4. And again, you can't tell a huge difference here. There's a slightly different look, but not a huge difference here. Both performed really well. There are some built-in film tones now, so you can actually utilize different, cinematic colors and kind of perspectives, even like a film mood. You got like cool toned and transparent. There's a bunch of different like tones that you can use, which just add a little bit of a different creative flair to it. And that was nice to see here. They also say that there's better video and photo portraits here. And that's kind of what I noticed across the board. They've gone with the Osmo Pocket 3, which is such a solid system, and they've just improved on things in an incremental way. So the fact that it performs better with portrait, the fact that we've got different kind of tones and different filters and different things that we can do with it. We've got the live photos, which is a really nice add-on. Now, all of these are great upgrades, but they're not significant leaps forward. We do have slow shutter video mode, so that means that we have some control over the shutter speed, and pretty cool because it creates like a unique motion blur effect that a lot of people want to go for nowadays, and you can do that all through the Pocket 4 as well. I love this concept here. I love having a fill light that just magnetically connects on and then just folds away. I think this is something, if they capitalize on it more, it's going to be a unique offering because there's so many different accessories that they could add on here that just creates a new perspective. So hopefully they go a little bit deeper with this, but the fill light itself is built beautifully, super easy to connect, and there's a bunch of different like temperatures as well that you can go with and different intensities when it comes to the light. Like I said, there is an improvement to active track, so we get active track 7 here, and there's also intelligent autofocus. So that means that it's going to lock onto the subject and focus more consistently. So there's literally a newly added subject lock tracking. So that's a new feature that we get here. Again, a lot of software features. There's also gesture controls as well. So that's another exciting new feature that we've got. And then we've also got 4-channel output and spatial audio. So that means that we can connect up multiple microphones here and really have like a full production. Like if we want multiple people being recorded with their microphone audio, and we've got a unique 3-axis gimbal that can just capture different things and lock onto subjects, it really is adding that additional kind of professional layer here. One of my favorite features here, hands down, is the built-in storage. I just love this. I love that DJI have been doing this with all of their latest products. So 107 gigabytes of internal storage here. You don't even need to bother with an SD card, a micro SD card, but you can as well. There's the additional offering down here to connect up micro SD. But I found myself literally just using the main system. I've only got 62 gigabytes free. I say only. I've been recording so much on this. You don't even have to bother formatting it for such a long time. So built-in storage is a big one, 107 gigabytes with the Pocket 4. I also wanted to show some of the unboxing experience here because there's a lot of different accessories that you get in the kit that I got. It comes with so many different options. I also got the additional add-on. So it didn't come in the kit, but this is the charging add-on that we saw with the Pocket 3. So that just screws in, and then you've got a full setup with a mini little tripod, and you've got the additional battery pack that just connects in like so and will charge the unit. So this is the kit that I normally go out with like this, And then obviously you've got the fill light, you've got the microphone system, so I can just connect up wirelessly and have wireless audio at any time. And then you've got the bag as well, which is just unique to carry around with all those accessories. This was an interesting design choice. It's literally just a little bracket that magnetically connects into place and stops the unit from turning on. So the screen can't rotate, the camera can't move, and it's just locked into its position. The thing that I didn't love about this though is when you put it in the bag, I'm always worried about the joystick getting squished or buttons getting pushed on, whatever it may be. The previous design had like a full case that covered it, so I might get myself something like that in the future. But that was a unique design choice here. It's very easy though just to remove that magnetic bracket or brace, and then you're ready to film. So it's a lot easier to get into production, but I don't know, it's just a different design choice here. Let's quickly run through some of the new things that have been added here. We've already gone through them, but I just want to condense it into this little part here so you can really focus on what the changes actually are. So they say it's a new 1-inch system. So the Pocket 3 was 1 inch, but this is a new 1-inch system that has 14 stops of dynamic range. You can also capture 4K up to 240 frames per second. So that's a huge leap forward with the slow motion. And you can also capture 10-bit D-Log video, which is a big leap forward if you're wanting that professional feel. And Active Track 7 has been a new upgrade here from 6 to 7. So you should notice some improvements with the Active Track. Not that the Pocket 3 was bad by any means, but any sort of improvement is nice to see. We get a redesigned joystick here and 2 additional buttons. So we get that zooming button and the custom button. Both of those work nicely and the joystick feels significantly better than the Pocket 3. The Pocket 4 also supports zoom during recording, which is really nice, as well as in active track mode. We've got D-Log, like I mentioned, and it works with photo modes as well. So that lossless zoom works in a bunch of different ways. There's different beauty filters, there's glamour effects, and there's those film tones as well that I mentioned before, so that's a nice upgrade to have some different film tones here. The built-in storage is really nice, so 107 gigabytes of built-in storage. We get 33 megapixel stills, so that's the super photo mode, and it also supports live photo, so that's some new upgrades there. There is also an upgrade to the battery capacity, so 1,545 milliamp hours compared to 1,300 milliamp hours. What it kind of feels like here is an incremental update. It kind of feels like the Osmo Pocket 3.5. There's some really nice quality of life upgrades here. There's some nice features going on. And I think if you've never owned the Pocket before, you've never owned the Pocket 3, this is an obvious pickup. Great price point, lots of options, and it's a really, really solid camera system that I use all the time. Like I use the Pocket 3 all the time. I'm now going to use the Pocket 4 all the time. It pretty much replaces the Pocket 3 for me. But if we're talking someone who has the Pocket 3, it's a really hard one to recommend upgrading. Like I would have loved to see a Pro version, something significantly better, like a dual camera system, a huge improvement to the sensor, something like that would have been great to see. But again, as a standalone system, if we isolate it away from the Pocket 3, you've never owned the Pocket 3 before, this is a must-have. Again, just to reiterate the point, I use the Pocket 3 for all my unboxing videos. I use it for a lot of talking to camera footage. I use it when I'm out and about getting B-roll. We take it traveling with us. It's the perfect lifestyle camera. Having a 3-axis, 1-inch sensor in your pocket that can capture 4K, it's got HDR, it's got slow motion options, it's got 10-bit, just such a solid camera system. So I think as a standalone, if you've never owned and you've been considering a Pocket camera, really awesome time to grab one. Great price point, like I said, and it's just got so much going on for it. So those are all of my thoughts. It's a really nice incremental upgrade, a lot of nice quality of life features, some really cool upgrades here and some creative stuff that they've added. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Are you going to grab one? If you've got the Pocket 3, is this the upgrade you're waiting for? Or are you still going to be holding out? Are you happy with the Pocket 3? Let me know in the comments below. Let's start a discussion. I'm very curious to hear what everyone's thoughts are, and I'll chat to you very soon. Peace.